Hi, I'm Emily Pont, and this is my Educational Leader interview. My interviewee is Alondra. This is my sister-in-law, and she teaches second grade at Discovery School of the Arts. I picked Alondra as my interviewee because she is an elementary teacher, and this is the career I want to pursue. I interviewed her on Tuesday the 25th. This is her first year teaching, and she's doing an amazing job so far. She has been able to help me along the way, as well as sharing tips and tricks and things I should prepare for. Roles and responsibilities. What are some of your roles and responsibilities as an elementary teacher? In the teaching profession, you hold the honor and responsibilities of many different roles, some all at once, such as a caretaker, a protector, a role model, and a friend. And some come and go, such as a party coordinator, a budget consultant, community advisor. However, she would have to say that her biggest responsibility is to her students, and those roles would consist of knowing them, understanding their individual learning styles, and above all, being prepared for the day as well as being flexible for the unexpected. An article I read called 10 Qualities of Good Teacher states some qualities of a good teacher include skills in communication, listening, collaboration, adaptability, empathy, and patience. Other characteristics of effective teaching include an engaging classroom presence, value in the real-world learning, exchange for the best practices, and lifelong learning. From the interview Alondra, I can see that she has many of these good qualities in her. Leadership style. What is your leadership style? Her leadership style is definitely leading by example. Although she does have support from her colleagues, coaches, and mentors, she likes to take things into her own hands, and if and when she does not feel confident enough to handle them, she doesn't feel like she is taller standing than anyone else, so when she does ask for help and guidance, she needs it. There's a lot that she can still learn in this profession. Inside her classroom, she shows her students how to be polite, how to be kind, when to be serious, when to also have fun, and how to treat one another. Her famous line is treat others the way you want to be treated. The article, What Do Leaders in Different Fields Need to Success, states there are 6 competencies were rated most vital to leadership success, and those were building collaborative relationships, leading employees, strategic perspective, taking initiative, participate management, and change management. Data-driven decision making. How do you make decisions? Do you use data-driven decision making? She does use data-driven decision making when planning anything in the classroom. She uses reading scores to distinguish small groups for guided reading. She also takes math assessment scores to plan the seating chart. It is important to know the standing of each student based on their assessment performance because treating every student the same is not fair. Each individual requires different learning strategies and criteria to be able to succeed. When I first thought of using data-driven decision making, I instantly thought of test scores and how I would make decisions based on the students' scores. After reading the article called Not Just Numbers, How Educators Are Using Data in the Classroom, has opened my eyes to other ways I can use this data. Data should be informed us about the students' capabilities, not data-driven. Now, data-driven is where you are assessing, analyzing, and adjusting how you teach students. Depending on the task at hand, teachers turn to a variety of tools that offer different data on how their students are learning. There are many different tools to use inside a classroom when trying to find data, such as Edpuzzles, Pear Deck, and through math programs. Every student has a different learning style, so one type of data might not work for another student. Spending the time in exploring options is very beneficial. Learning experience they provide for others. What type of learning experience do you provide for others? The learning experience she provides for others is one that builds a safe classroom environment while also having fun. Making learning fun is the easiest way to ensure retention and meaningful connections with the curriculum. Although it can't be all fun and games 24/7, the friendship builds accountability between students and teachers. She teaches at such a young age, so she wants to make sure she gets a good learning foundation for them so they can be lifelong learners. Teachers educate, inspire, and change students. It is important to relate the learning back to real-life situations. An article called Teacher Learning That Supports Student Learning, What Teachers Need to Know, states interpreting learners' statements and actions are shaping productive experiences for them requires an understanding of a child and adolescent's development of how to support growth in various domains, cognitive, social, and physical, also as well as emotional. Understanding diversity that may result from culture, family experiences, evolved levels of intelligence, and learning styles is also necessary for teaching in ways that connect with learners. Teachers must be able to ask delicate questions, actively listen, and consider student work carefully. Assessment and evaluation of learners. How do you assess and evaluate learners? For reading levels, she assesses students on words read correctly and comprehension. The program they use is Literacy Footprints, which is administered in a running record to keep notes of words read correctly to provide comprehension questions at the end of the leveled reader to get out level. For math, they assess the students after every chapter as well as district-wide benchmarks, which align the Common Core standards for each of the trimesters. Student learning can be evaluated in many different ways. You can ask the student what knowledge and skills you want them to demonstrate. It is also important to assess in the classroom within class quizzes, homework, peer feedback, activities, and problem solving. Many schools have different strategies for how they test their students. Leaders' use of optimism, positive thinking. Do you spread positive thinking in your classroom? If so, how do you present it in your classroom? She does spread positive thinking in her classroom. She thinks it is her students' favorite way to share positivity and self-love is during the morning meetings. During this activity, students are to stand up from their chairs, walk to the affirmation mirror, and then pick a word they want to describe themselves. Once they decide on a word, they say it to the class. I am, then their word. When our friend shares their positive word, the rest of the class's positive word, the rest of the class claps and cheers for them. They do this until everyone has had a turn. Throughout the day, she maintains a culture in where students are encouraged to clap and cheer for their class. Whether it's for something small or something big, positivity is not only spread by her, but most importantly between the students themselves. Alondra shows great positivity in her classroom between the students as well as herself and the students. The book EQ from the Inside Out mentions several techniques to help think more positively, and these include of using the ABC formula, counting your blessings, basking in your success, finding your comfort zone, and pushing out. Alondra uses a version like counting your blessings. The book describes optimism as allowing us to move beyond our present circumstances and respond to possibilities with our control. Alondra also encourages her students to keep pushing for improvement and to find new goals to reach. How the leader advocates for others. How do you advocate for others? She does advocate for others by being aware of her surroundings and different dynamics around her. Some students need just a little affirmation to get through their day. A kind word can go a long way. Although it's a very small gesture, she likes to think she made a difference by giving a small compliment. This is one topic she found herself constantly feeling like she had fallen short in, so it is definitely something that she will continue and explore and enhance in it. I believe advocacy should be taught in the classroom to students can one day be their own advocates. An article called Teaching Advocacy in Your Classroom suggests that students develop advocacy and theoretic skills in the classroom. Ways to obtain these skills in the classroom are by allowing space for opinions, allowing space for controlled arguments, and encourage listening and speaking. This is my conclusion. During this activity, helped me realize what being a teacher is really about. Inspiring students, being a role model, being a friend, helping discover a student's passion, and making learning fun. Having set questions made the interview process go smoothly, and I was able to get a lot of information that went inside the classroom as well as on Londra's thinking as a teacher. I found myself agreeing with many things, but also learned some new strategies and how her school assesses students. I did not realize there were many ways to assess and evaluate your students rather than just testing them. I know I am not a good test taker, so having other options in my classroom will help students. I also learned that what being an advocate is all about and how I can implement strategies in my classroom to help my students become advocates for themselves. I am a very positive and goal-driven person, and I hope I take that with me when I become a teacher. Thank you for listening to my presentation.